question, although, for you to experience or to do on your own. So although the quiz, unfortunately, no, I can only accommodate 50 participants. So as we will be doing this in the Kahoot, so I suggest that so siguro paunahan na lang ito. But hopefully we can manage this one. So I will be giving the game pin later and the other instruction. So for my outline this morning, I will be discussing the adding activities. So specifically the forum assignment, the quiz, and the building the question bank, which will be creating the questions and will be adding into our quiz. So yesterday, Ma'am Nanan and Dr. Sani discussed the introduction of what is an LMS and building your own classrooms as well. And you have started adding resources. So hopefully during the break or kaya kagabi, you have started exploring the classroom as we need your experience. Although I will be showing on how to do the activities. So let me begin with the Moodle activities. So what are Moodle activities? So an activity in Moodle is a general name for a group of features in a Moodle course. So usually an activity is something that a student will do that interacts with other students and or the teacher. So kahapon Ma'am Nenen showed you on how to add the resources such as you added resources such as a video from a YouTube links. So this time we will be adding activities in our classroom. So these activities are intended for your students and you to interact and do certain tasks in your classroom. So these are the common or standard activities in our classroom. So you have the assignment, chat choice. So I will be showing this later, on how to add this in our classroom, but let me discuss first what are these tools. So assignment, so enables teachers to grade and give comments on uploaded files and assignments. So you have there, so the chat, so I think you're familiar with that one. Allows participation to have a real-time synchronous discussion. Then you have a choice, so a useful as quick poll to stimulate thinking about a topic. It allowed the class to vote on a direction for the course or to gauge progress. So the database enables participants to create, maintain, and search a bank of record entries. The feedback, this is used for creating and conducting surveys to collect feedback. Then we have the forum. It allows participants to have asynchronous discussions. Then we have the glossary, enables participants to create and maintain a list of definitions like a dictionary. Then you have the lesson. So for delivering content this is used for delivering content in flexible ways. And then we have the external tool, the LTI. It allows participants to interact with LTI compliant learning resources and activities on other websites. So all of this must be set up by the administrator. And we have the quiz. So it allows the teacher to design and set quiz tests which may be automatically marked and feedback and or to correct answer shown. Then we have the SCORM. So it enables SCORM packages to be included as course content. Then we have the survey. This is used for gathering data from students to help teachers learn about their class and reflect on their own learning. And we have the wiki, a collection of web pages that anyone can add to or edit. Then lastly, we have the workshop, which enables peer assessment. So although these are just the standard or standard activities in Moodle. So there are other tools also that you can use or you can import in Moodle. So to those of you na meron ng kanilang platform that uses the Moodle LMS, siguro there are other activities that that is not included in this from my examples. So the administrator has to add those. So kumbaga, your administrator in your school will be the one adding the additional activities, but most likely these activities here are the standard activities in our Moodle. So also, Dr. Sani yesterday discussed the it's not potential. It's the usage of the LMS. So you have there the learning as LMS as the learning resource management. Then we have interaction and communication, and we have the feedback and assessment. So from our activities I have shown a while ago, so we can also categorize this one based on their functions. Although it is not only this is not limited to what of hindi siya you can use other tools depending sa inyong usage on how depende sa usage nyo. So it depends on yung ano yung category ng yung tools based sa paggamit niyo. But I have here some examples in what we use in mostly in our training. So we use this tool here as the learning resource management. So we have the external tool, wiki, tapos we have this forum package, database, glossary, and lesson. So more on, we use this as resources resources and learning resources as learning resources in our Moodle classroom. Then we have for the interaction and communication, we commonly use these tools. We have the choice, the chat, and the forum. Then lastly, we can also use the as I've said a while ago, so hindi lang limited sa anong pinapakita ko dito yung tool. So the choice can also be used for feedback and assessment. Then you have the assignment, then the forum as well. So it can be used for the introduction and communication and the feedback and assessment as well. Then you have the feedback, quiz, and the workshop. So for my demonstration today, I will not be talking all of these activities. So specific lang, which as a trainer and as a teacher, so I will be discussing to you ano lang yung basic or mas common na ginagamit ng ibang teachers in their Moodle classroom. So we have there the forum, then we have the assignment and quiz. So let's begin with adding activities, the forum. So what is a forum in Moodle? So forum allows students and teachers to exchange ideas by posting comments as part of a thread. So I think by this definition, you can visualize or imagine forum as like you have the Facebook comments, or if you happen to visit blogs, so you have there the forum. So that is how, although not exactly, but that is how the forum works in Moodle. Although unlike sa Facebook, meron siyang like and share or whatever. So what are its main features? So in our forum, so similar with Facebook, so you can add images and media. Then it can be graded. So for example, you want your students to share their thoughts, and you want that be graded, so you don't have to use any other tools. So you can use forum instead. Then also you can set off you can set cut off and due dates. So meaning you can set your forum to be open a specific date, and you can close as well based on the date you have provided. So meaning you can strict the scheduling of your forum. So what does it look like? So if you happen to enroll in our ReFLEX classroom, so you have there the forum, which is, by the way, the standard icon for the forum of our Moodle is this one. Dito. So if you saw that, if you have seen rather this icon in your Moodle classroom, so meaning that activity is the forum. So we have in a forum, so we have different types or formats. So we have a single simple discussion. Then we have each person posts one discussion. Then we have the Q&A forum. Then we have the standard forum displayed in a blog-like format. Then lastly, we have the standard forum for general use. So I'll be showing in my later slides, I'll be showing how this looks like. So first is we have the standard forum for general use. So in the standard forum for general use, students will see an introduction text in a separate space above the list of discussions. So students have to click add a new discussion topic button to start a new discussion or thread. So by the way, in our forum, so once you open the forum activity in your Moodle classroom, so ganito na ang kanyang view. So you have there, if you want to add a new topic, just click the add a new topic. And if you want to when adding a new discussion topic, you will be asked in what the subject of your post all about. So this one, like this one, and the message. So to view the discussions from your peers or from your students, you'll have to click this here. So in the standard forum for general use view, so this will be the view of your students when you set the forum type into general use view. So next is we have in a single simple discussion. So the teacher posts a question while students are only able to reply. So they cannot start a new topic of discussion. So this is useful if you wish to keep a discussion focused. So kanina, so you have there, as a student or as a teacher, you can add discussion topics and as well reply. But in a single simple discussion view, only the teacher can, it's not really post a discussion, but rather you have there the instruction. This will be the instruction, and students, for them to share their thought, they have to click the reply button and share their thoughts. So walang add a new discussion or topic. So again, this is useful if you wish to keep a yung discussion ninyo is focused. Next is we have each person posts one discussion view. So in this format, so it only allows one person to post one discussion topic. However, you may reply on a specific topic or discussion. So kanina, so you have there from the general use. So you can post discussion. There's unlimited numbers to post a discussion. But in this one discussion view, so per person or per student, it only allows one discussion topic, but he or she can reply to the topics you have or his or her classmates have posted. So I think this is useful if, for example, you have a self-introduction in your classroom. So it is recommended to use this type of forum. Then we have question and answer forum view. So this is best used when you have a particular question that you wish to have answered. Then by default, a Q&A forums requires students to post first before viewing other students posting. So meaning they cannot view the replies of other students unless they have posted their replies first. So again, I have here, lastly, we have here the standard form display, blog-like format. So it works like the standard form for general use, but the first post of each discussion is displayed so that users can read it and then choose by respond by clicking the discussion, this topic button, at the bottom right of the post. So you have here to discuss this topic. So unlike the general and other format view, so you have, before you can view the topics or the discussions from from other participants, you have to click the title of their discussion first before they can access. But in a standard in the blog-like format, so it is kumbaga pinakita niya lahat. So kung ano yung content ng kanyang post. So you have there, so the subject for this, for example, the subject for this discussion topic is, you have the fake news, and for the second is you have the social media experience. So I'll be showing later how does it look like in our Moodle classroom. So I have here a summary. So supposedly the square box here are the X mark ito. So a single simple discussion. So students cannot post a topic, but they can reply. Then you have there each person for the one discussion post view. So you have there the students can post topic and reply, but they can only post one discussion. Then the Q&A forum. So students cannot post topics, but they can reply. Then for the standard, for the blog-like and the standard form for general use, students can post and reply as well. So when to use it? So you can use forum when your activity involves sharing of thoughts. So your activity involves class discussions. You have the Q&A. So as what I have shown you a while ago regarding the categories, so the form is not only limited to feedback and assessment. You can also use this for simple interaction and communication, such as the self-introduction and technical concerns for students. So in our classroom, so we usually use forum for self-introduction and the just simple technical concerns for your students. Okay. So let's now proceed to how to set it up. So I have here a basic lang na simple lang na guide on how to open. So although I have here the complete guide in how to set up our forum. So kindly visit this link. So I hope you have already opened this this link. So let me try to open it. So what we'll be doing in the demo workshop, so I will be opening, so please bear with me now as I will be opening from time to time the manual and our and a sample classroom. So it says here, so first open your Moodle classroom. No, this is our Moodle classroom. So this is kung wala pang laman yung in yung Moodle Classroom, this is the default view. So um, for us to add activities or resources, we'll have to click the Turn Editing On button. So I hope naka-follow yung lahat, no? So to those of you na merong mga laptops, I hope you can follow. So again, click the Turn Editing On button. So from there, you have there, so the view of your classroom is now changed. So you have there the tools or the icons na that's have a different purpose. So let me go back to my manual. Oh, hindi ko siya maklik. Anyway. So kindly open your manual. So this manual, by the way, is disclaimer lang. This is based on the Moodle na guide from their website, but the Moodle from the guide in the Moodle website is parang you have given the steps but walang pictures, but this one you can simply follow yung may mga numbers and yung mga boxes, so they correspond to the guide here. So you have there for example step 1, so you have to click the Turn Editing On button, which we did a while ago. Then from there, so you have a quick tour. So I will not be discussing this one to save time. But okay. So again, yung step 1 is click the Turn Editing On button. Then for the step 2, so we'll have to add an activity or resource. So so you have there, as you may notice, so each topic, so by the way, we have in our classroom, we have different sections. So you have there the general section and you have here the topic section. So itong tatong dito, topic 1, 2, and 3. And each topic, in each section has a add an activity or resource button. So for instance, my self-introduction is, gusto ko siyang i-add sa my first topic. I will be asking the students to introduce themselves in my first topic or first meeting, or their first meeting. So I will be clicking the add an activity or resource on the topic 1. So kindly click. So I'll try my pace slower, so para maka-follow yung may mga laptops. So again, dito. So for those of you for those of you who are late, so for better workshop experience, so I suggest that this sa inyong mga laptops, I suggest this view. So for the left tab, or for your left window, so just press the Windows key and then left key. Then for the right window, you press the Windows key plus the right key in your keyboard. So I suggest that this part here is your the Facebook Live, and this part here would be your Moodle Classroom. So para makita nyo kung so that you can be we will be synchronized. So para maka-follow kayo agad. So again, I'll be adding the self-introduction or forum in the topic 1. So click add an activity or resource button. So here. then look for the forum. So please remember the forum icon here. Click on that, then click add button. So so this is now you are now redirected to the adding a new forum page settings. So let me go back to my manual as I have a short tour. So you may not okay. So in your so our general the forum settings contains this setting section. So you have the general. So the forum name. So you can set the name the name of your forum. Then you have here in the description you input the description or the instruction of your um, of your forum. Then for it to be displayed in your Moodle classroom, you have to click this button here. Then so a while ago I have shown you the different format of forum no. So you will choose what the forum type that suits your which suits the kung anong purpose ng forum nyo. Then you have there under the availability, so you have there the due date and the cut-off date. Then you have here, so you have there the subscription and tracking, which sets the subscription mode. So then you have here, and in the whole forum grading, so you have there the type, sets the grading type and grade. Then you can also put the maximum grade for that if your forum is graded. Then you have there the grading method, just follow the arrow. You have their grade category. Then you have their grade to pass. Then you have there the ratings, and for these two buttons here is for saving your work. So in our demo or workshop, so we will not be doing, or we will not be filling all those fields, no, as some fields here, like for example here, so I leave it hindi ko na siya introduce kasi hindi naman siya it's not really necessary for the meantime. So since I will be showing you the basic use of the forum activity. So first, so what we will be doing now, we will be filling the fields which I think needed in setting up a basic forum activity. So sa mga sa mga participants with their laptops, you can follow through lang. I will be inputting the fields first, then before discussing. Then for the naman sa mga hindi naka-set up ng kanilang classroom or walang laptop, you can you can scribble or note some important points that I will be discussing. So again, I will be only filling the fields that I think basic lang. The basic settings in creating your forum. So first, let's begin setting up your forum. So for this activity, let's create a forum for self-introduction. So my forum name here should be self-introduction. So for the live now, for the participants on the live, so kindly set your name into self-introduction. So you may refer also sa manual kung hindi kayo makahabol. Then you have there, next is the description. So I can type here, introduce yourself to the class. yourself in the class. So that's my description for this forum. Then I should, so if I want to, to view this description in my course page, I have to click this, display description on course page. Tapos, since self-introduction, ano naman siya, di ba? When you introduce yourself, hindi naman siya ganoon uh, ka, kadami na kailangan ilagay. So, I'll set this, each person post one discussion to prevent na hindi sila, they will not be posting, discussion topic. So, isa lang, just one discussion topic about their selves. Then for the availability, so since the self-introduction is hindi naman siya graded, so I may not enable this one. I may leave it blank here. Or for example, gusto mong from July 30, so dapat nakapost na sila lahat. So I'll set this one to July 30. Then if I want to that one after the date sa July or for that due date, hindi na sila maka-reply, so I'll have to click this cut-off date. So I think the attachment and word count is not really necessary. So no. Then subscription and tracking. So in subscription and tracking, meaning your students, and let's set this forced subscription. So meaning whenever your students or one of your students or one of his or her classmates post a discussion, they will be notified. So we'll set this forced description. So for them to to read what their classmates have posted. Then in the what else? Mm-hmm. So I think that's it. So that's recap lang no. So to create a simple basic forum, just set the forum name. So by the way, you have there yung may parang red exclamation mark. Those items are required, meaning you have to really put something on it. So again, the forum name, input the forum name. Tapos you have to introduce yourself to the class. For the description, then you have there display description on course page. Then set the forum type as each person posts one discussion. Then this is optional, no? So for me, for this activity lang is I have to set the due date as 30 and they cannot reply on the cutoff date. And for them on the subscription and tracking, for them to forcefully forcefully them to read or to be notified, so we'll have to set the subscription mode as forced subscription. So once done, click Save and Display. So let's go back to our course homepage. So you have now there the one forum activity which involves self-introduction. So sa hindi na to those who have left behind, so you just have to follow this manual you have there. Although I have added there some other things nga pwede niyong ilagay, but it's not necessarily so I have there. So I have in my manual I have included the forum grading, but I have added you may skip however this part in case you don't want to grade your form. So ganun lang. So for your now it's your turn. So for your simple activity, so using the forum we have set up, change the forum type into a single simple discussion. Then add a new topic, then set the subject to about me and add a message, hi, I am plus your name. So the question is, with the changes above, what does your forum now look like in the student view? So the choices will be a series of images. So for the hint, after you set up and edit your forum, change your role to student mode, then view. So to change, by the way, to change the view, your role or view, uh, so just click your profile and switch role to student. There. Then open the self-introduction. So this is how now, this will be the view of your students when they access the forum activity. So again, follow the steps and I'll give you 3 minutes to perform this and we'll have a short quiz. So I'll be leaving for a while. So you can now start. You only have 3 minutes. All right. So I hope no sa uh, may mga laptops. So you have completed the activity or the workshop. So now let's proceed to the short quiz. So I will be using a Kahoot. So as I've mentioned a while ago, I am using a basic sa Kahoot, so meaning 50 participants lang. So I suggest na so sa mga hindi medyo confident, you can participate on your own na lang. So you may not enter the room. So let's to join the room, kindly visit kahoot.it in your browser. Kahoot.it. Kahoot.it. Then enter this game page. So I am waiting for the 50 participants. Or so again, in your browser, kindly go to kahoot.it and input the game pin 145123. So we have here OBC, Shield J, so at time check, it's 10:25. So at 10:26, I'll start the game. So yung question ha is based sa what does your forum now look like in the student view? I think okay, 13 players. So I think I'll start once the players. Pag 25 players na tayo. So sa yung iba, so sa next na na mga questions. So for the first question, this is trial. So namahaw na ba ka mo? So kindly choose. So yung goal dito sa Kahoot is pabilisan and patamaan ng sagot. So dapat correct yung answer nyo at the same time mabilis kayong nag-answer. We only have 10 seconds left. Okay, so meaning dito all answers are correct, but more answers on humana. So good. So I hope you have more energy. So this is now the questions from the workshop activity that you have did a while ago. So from here, so you have there siguro dito si JBR, so he's the first or pinakauna nagsagot. Then so this is our scoreboard. So for our question, yung question talaga for this workshop. So from the changes you made in your forum, what does your forum look like in the student view now? So for those who did the activity, kindly choose. So Yes. And so for the question second zero, and our first is, so congratulations to the winners. So to Sam, to Sir Sam. So kindly send your um, number after our webinar, as I will be giving a ano, uh, small prize for this activity. So again, to the winners, to other winners, bagging rights muna na lang tayo, no? So congrats. So let me go back uh, to my presentation. Okay, for the tips, so use different variety of forums and provide instructions. So you have the different uses of forums provided kanina. Then when grading, set a checklist or rubric. Then emphasize the practice of online etiquette, as as we have experience in siguro how they behave in the social media should not be done in our classroom. So dapat we set the online etiquette or the netiquette, then be specific and set rules, meaning the same with the instructions. So that's how we add a forum in Moodle. Next is adding activities, the assignment. So what is assignment in Moodle? So the assignment activity provides a space into which students can submit work for teachers to grade and give feedback on. So you can consider the assignment activity in Moodle as the submission bin. So in our classrooms, we have renamed our assignment into submission bin, in which you submit your outputs or your required outputs for this webinar. So what are the main features? So again, you can set cut-off and due dates, then accepts several types and of any type, then notifies you and your students whenever an assignment is made or late ba. Then you can submit work as a group, so meaning you can group your students and they can submit as a group. Then can grade blindly, meaning you can grade without knowing the name of the students who submitted that work. So what does it look like? So this is the view now. If in your classroom, so this is the student view, in your classroom, once you add an assignment activity or assignment activity is present. So in the teacher's view, so once you open the assignment, so this will be now your view. So you have here, the button here is, this lists all the submitted documents. So yung mga documents na or mga outputs na sinubmit ng yung mga students, then you have their grade. So that's when you want to grade, you have to click this button when you want to grade the outputs of your students. So this is the grading view which I will be showing later this afternoon. So when to use it? So every activities that requires an output, such as documents, videos, audio, and etc. So meaning lahat ng mga activities nyo na that requires a tangible output or original works, so you can use this activity, the assignment activity. So how to set up? So let me go back to my Moodle classroom. So kay sa yung yung nag-change na kailang roles, kindly click this return to my normal role to edit so that you can edit your classroom and to return to your teacher role and you can edit your classroom. So return to my normal role. Then let me go back to the course page. So again, so the steps, let's now start creating our classroom. So hindi na ako pupunta sa aking manual ha, dito na ako sa aking classroom. I'm discussing all the contents in my online classroom. So first, I'll set the turn editing on button to edit, add an activity or resource. Tapos click an activity, add an activity or resource. I forgot, so we have we have participants who use the Nomio Moodle classroom in Nomio. So it might be that your the adding activities and the resources is different. Itong view na to. So I think there is a panel there. You have there all, or then you have activities, then you have the resources. So kindly look for the assignment. So for the Moodle na the same version with me, click the assignment. So yung pinakauna, tapos click add. Then we have to set the assignment name. So for this one, I'll name this one submission bin. So follow lang no sa may mga laptops. Submission bin, topic 1 submission bin. Then I'll set my description to submit your work here. Then I'll click the display description on course page to view this description on my course page. Then this is optional. So additional files in case you want your, for example, you want them to access a specific file, for example, that contains the rubric or instructions, or they call this one, the template that they will be using, you can add the additional file here. Now, the availability, so by default, the submission due date and the remind me to grade is enabled, so just leave it be. So in case, so the allow submissions from is the date when you want to open the submission bin. So for example, I want to open this one in July 30, so I set the date in July 30. Then you have there the due date, for example, my due date will be in August, so I set the due date in August 4, so the due date will be in August 4. Then remind me to grade by it's this here allows you to remind you it allows the Moodle to remind you to when to grade after they have submitted their works. So you can also leave that one. Let's proceed to the submission type. So submission types includes, you have there the online text and file submission. So this will be the setting on what types of submissions you are requiring your students. For example, they have to submit a Word file, so you have to click the file submissions. But for example, if you want them to submit for example, a YouTube link, a link from a YouTube video so click the online text, and they can just submit there the link of the YouTube video. Then you have there, it's not really necessary. So you have there the maximum number of upload files, then maximum submission size. So by default, this one is set by your administrator, this one here. So for in my case, the maximum submission size is 10 MB. So that's default. Then the feedback type. So choose the feedback type. So by default, these are the feedback types set by the Moodle. You may leave it be. So this one require students to click the submit button. So when this is set into no, whenever the students submit their work, they can resubmit. So meaning they can change their submission. So if we set this to yes, meaning what they have submitted is final. So yun na yung i-grade niya. So for this one, we want our students submit their final document. Let's set this to yes. Then leave other settings as it is. Then so since this is an individual group, individual submissions, we don't need to set the group submission as yes. But if you want the submission as a group, so you may set this no. But this time, let's set it as no muna. Then for the notification, it's not, just leave it as it is. Then you have the grade. So for this time, let's set the grade as, for example, 20. So the maximum grade of that specific output. Okay, so I think it's all set. So again, type the assignment name, then description, then click this button here, then set the due date and the opening of the submissions. Then you have their submission types, and then you have here set the require students to click the submit button as yes, and lastly put the maximum grade. So other settings, you may leave it as it is. So as we are making a simple basic assignment activity. Then click save and return to course. So you may also click save and display, but if you want to go back to your course after creating the assignment activity, just click this one. Anyway, it will be saved either way. So save and return to course. So that's it. So you now have a topic 1 assignment activity in your classroom. So let's try to open it. So so for now, so this is the table which states the statistics of you have there submitted. So you have the 6 participants. So meaning in my classroom I have 6 enrolled students, including me. Then you have there the drafts, tapos submitted. So sino yung nag-submit, number of submissions, then etc. So as of now, blank pa kasi walang nag-submit. So if we open, okay. And that's how you create your assignment activity. So from there, in the student view, okay. If I, as a student, if I click this one, so this will be now there. Wait, yes, I have not yet. I think kasi we set the openings of yes, because we set the submission or the opening of the submission to July 30. So meaning hindi pa sila makasubmit kasi hindi pa July 30. So but if when the time comes in July 30, so they can submit their outputs. So let me go back to my normal role. Okay. So that's how you add a activity, assigned activity in Moodle. So let me go back to my presentation. So you have in my presentation, no, you have there the link also, and you have there the section in which this setting up the assignment belongs to, or you can access, where you can access. Okay. So I have there, so if you have, for example, do not accept submissions after the deadline or no. I have also here a list of common scenarios and how to do it. So you have there the scenario and the settings, where on the activity, assignment settings rather, and how to do it. So I think I have discussed this a while ago. So tips. So provide a clear rule or instruction. So remember in the description, no, we must set the rule or the instruction on how the student or what you are expected from your students to submit. So para guided sila. Then when grading, set a checklist or rubric. So for objective assessment, I think it would be better if we use a checklist or rubric for para mas objective yung pag-assess ng students nyo. Hindi siya by by points. You have there the rubric in which you set the criteria and what the level of performance they should perform. Then lastly, limit the file size of the submission. So again, as you might have remember, we have a file size limit in the submission bin, which is set by the administrator. So this is since in our case our Moodle is installed in a server, so meaning they may available na space, but hindi siya unlimited. So for us to save space in our server, so I suggest that instead, for example, instead of file submission such as Word, so you can ask your student to submit a document from a Google Docs in which they will just have to paste the link para hindi siya para hindi mag-consume yung sinabit ng student mo na file ng space sa ating server. So I think that's all for the adding activities. Sorry, for this should be assignment. Next is we'll proceed to adding activities, the quiz. So what is a quiz in Moodle? So it allows the teacher to design and set quiz tests, which may be automatically marked and feedback or to correct answer shown. So questions will be imported from a question bank. So what are its main features? So it contains a wide range of question type. It generates random questions from your question bank. Then it can provide different kinds of feedback. Then it can shuffle questions and choices as well. So what does it look like? So in students view, so you have there in your this view here. This view here is a student's view when they are from your course page. So you have there this icon here. This is the icon for the quiz in Moodle. Then when they open the a quiz, this one, so they will be redirected to this page. So this is a sample quiz. It's Moodle history quiz. So let's set it up now. So to set up, so again, let's turn our editing on button. So when you want to add resources or activities, do not forget to always turn the editing on button. So when you want, this is your first step, always your first step in editing your course. So you have to turn editing on button. Then since for my case, I want to add a quiz on the first topic or first of my first lesson. So I'll click the add an activity or resource button on the under this topic 1. Then look for the quiz. So remember the quiz icon. It's below. Anyway, it's sorted. So here. So I'll click the quiz button. Though from here, it is always required to set the name of your quiz. So as I've mentioned a while ago, we should be specific. So since you might include or add more quizzes in your classroom, so it's not a good practice to just name your quiz as quiz. So you must be specific. So for this case, since I'll be adding the quiz in my first topic. So I'll name this one as topic 1 quiz. So if I have more quizzes in my topic 1 under the topic 1, so I'll have the quiz 1, quiz 2, and etc. Then set the description. So for my description, I'll add this one as take this short quiz to test your knowledge. Then click display description on course page. Then let's proceed to the timing. So you have there when to open the quiz. So by default, when you click the the save buttons here, so hindi siya ma-open ng students kasi hindi niyo sinet yung kung kailan siya i-open and kailan siya i-close. So for them to access, you must enable the open the quiz this by clicking this checkbox here. So I'll just leave it as it is. So I'll open the quiz by clicking this one. I'll open the quiz right now. Then, for example, I want to close the quiz July 30. So I'll set the date as July 30. Then if I want to then set the time limit for your quiz. So for example, I have a 15 questions with 15 multiple low-level quiz in multiple choice. So I'll set this to 15 minutes. Then when the time expires, this one here, click the open attempts are submitted automatically. So meaning when they're taking the quiz and for example the time expires or there's a connection interruption. So what they have started or the items that they have answered will be automatically submitted and recorded. So set this open attempts are submitted automatically. Then set the grade. For example, I have the 15 items now. So I'll set the grade to pass as 10. Then we have here the attempts allowed. So attempts allowed is when you give the numbers of attempts to your number of attempts in taking the quiz. So meaning, for example, in my case, I just want them to, I'll give them 1 attempts only. So meaning they can only take the quiz 1 time only. So I'll set this 1. But if you want them, for example, your quiz is not graded just for them to practice, you can set the unlimited. But so and so on. So 2 means they can attempt the quiz. They can attempt the quiz twice. And the grading method is so from those attempts, so the attempt with highest grade will be the one recorded. So let's set this highest grade. So for example lang to, no? So I'll give them 2 attempts tapos highest grade yung method. Or you can set this average. So in my case, I set this highest grade. Then layout. So layout is is it if you want 1 page per question, or you can also set meaning yung once they open the quiz, lahat ng questions will be shown automatically. But I want them to, for my case, I want them to 1 question per page, so I set this every question. Anyway, it's default now. Then we have the question behavior. So it by default, the shuffle within questions is set to yes. So meaning the questions will be shuffled, and it will be different. The order of the numbering will be different in every student. So you may leave other settings as it may be. Then I think the review option is not necessary. The appearance also is not. Yes, I think that's it. So again, set the name of your quiz. Then you have there set a description. Then you have to set the date when to open the quiz and close the quiz, although you can set this disabled. Then set the time limit. Then when the time expires, set the open attempts are submitted automatically. Then you have there set the grade to pass. Then set the layout page as to every questions. Then lastly, you have to shuffle within questions to shuffle the questions of your quiz. Now let's click to save your work. Click save and return to course. So this is now how your quiz will look like now after adding. Let's try in student view again. Let's try to open the quiz. So for now, walang questions. Since we're not done yet, no? So we have just set up our quiz. Wala pang mga questions. So this is the view in the view of your students when they open the quiz. In R, let's go back to, yes, I have returned to my normal role as teacher. So when you open, so to add questions, we'll have to edit the quiz. So in adding questions, no, there are ways in adding. You have there a new question from a question bank and a random question. So since blank pa yung course natin, supposedly we will, in our activity, we'll be adding questions from a question bank. So since blank pa yung blank pa yung course page natin, yung course natin, so wala pa tayong questions from the question bank. So for this time, we will be setting up our question bank. So let me go back to my slides. Okay. So again, no, kanina we only set up our quiz. We are not yet adding the questions. Now, in order to add questions, we'll have to add questions from our question bank. But before that, we'll have to build, or I'll have to introduce you first kung ano ba yung question bank. So what is a question bank? So a question bank is a database of questions, categories that can be added to a quiz or to a lesson activity. It allows a teacher to create, review, and edit the questions. So what are its main features? So it can import and export quizzes in different format. So it organizes questions through categories, and it can manage and build various question types. So what does it look like? So this is an example of our question bank of one of our classroom. So you have there, these are the list of the questions, no? After adding. So I'll be showing you later, no? So in question bank, there are different question type. So we have, I think you are familiar with the multiple choice. So the numerical, so we have there, answers has to be numerical and allowed to have an accepted error range. So meaning, wait, yes, okay. So let's begin with the numerical, since you are familiar already with the multiple choice. So ang numerical, so again, answers has to be numerical and are allowed to have an accepted error range. So meaning you have a given space in which students will input a number, and it only accepts numbers. No, then you have select missing words. I think you are familiar with that, but in Moodle, it contains drop-down list of possible answers choices embedded within text. Then you have the short answer. So yes, the students enters a word or phrase. Then the true or false, same with multiple choice, you're familiar with that. Then we have the calculated. Wait, I cannot see. So calculated, so you have the calculated question type in which it calculates a question type which generates a random numbers, and students has to answer on the space provided based on the generated numbers. Of course, you have to set the formula in the settings first. So you have here the drag and drop. Students must drag and drop images and text onto a background image or text with the preset fields defined. So so you have actually the drag and drop have types, subtypes also. So you have the text, the image, and etc. The embedded answers consists of passage of text that can have various answers embedded within it, including the multiple choice, short answer, and numerical answer. So meaning, in one item or one question, you can have multiple types of quizzes embedded on it. So although it's only limited to multiple choice, short answer, and numerical. Then essay, students write an answer in essay format, can be graded manually or automatic. So it can be graded manually by inputting points, or it can be graded automatic, which you as a teacher you set the phrases, which for example for this specific phrase, this comprises a specific point. So meaning that whenever the phrase is present on the from the answer of your student, so that it will get a point based on the settings you have set. Then lastly, you have the matching. Students must match the correct answers with each question. A list of sub-questions that is provided along with a list of answers. So I have here a series of slides which contain sample question types. So this is for this one is a sample quiz type on calculated. So you have there the question is what is the surface and square meter meter of a rectangle with a base of 7.5 and a height of 4.2. So this, so as I mentioned a while ago, calculated is one of its main feature is it generates random numbers. So this one, for example, this is my view in my, for example, for students to view this quiz, it might be that the 7.5 here for the height, for the base might be different for the other student. So meaning it randomizes number in every student. And of course, so from the given set random of numbers, of course, it has different answers. Next is a sample quiz on drag and drop and onto image. So you have there, you have set the the area in which this text box here can be dragged. So this is a sample of a drag and drop onto image. Then we have here a sample quiz type on drag and drop onto text. So kanina, no, so you have there the spaces, and students will have to choose from these choices here and drag in the space provided. Then you have here the embedded answers or the close. So as you can see, in just one item, it contains different different type of questions. So you have there, this is drag. It's not a drag and drop, but rather it's drop down, I think. Drop down. Then you have there, this one here is short answer. Then you have here the multiple choice, which can also be displayed like this. So by default, it's displayed vertically, but also through the embedded answers, you can set it horizontally also. So for this tutorial or for this session, I will be only time check. So supposedly I will be showing you three question types. You have the numerical, the drag and drop, and the multiple choice. So, but for this session, I'll try the numerical and the call this one numerical and the multiple choice. Okay. So I'll skip this one. So let's proceed to creating calculated question type. So let me go back to my classroom. Okay. Now to access, so we'll have to create those questions types I have shown you a while ago. No, we'll have to access first our question bank. So you can visit the manual, no, in case for those of you who want to or might read in advance. So to access our question bank, click the gear icon button. So you don't have to click the turn editing on button, no. Click the gear button beside the turn editing on and click question bank. So you have there for some users. Then from the panel, click question bank. Then from this question bank panel, choose questions. Okay, so for now I have list of questions I have added a while ago. So let me remove them first. Okay. Delete. So this is now how your question bank look like. So you have there categories, import and export. But for us to create question, so we'll have to click create a new question. This one, create a new question. Then since our goal now is to create a calculated question, so we'll choose the calculated, then click add. All right. No, never mind the category. So I will be discussing the question categories, no, but it's on the manual. So I'll proceed with creating questions muna. But siguro I'll just show, but I will not be showing a demo. Next is the question name. So for instance, let me check my sample. So what's my sample kanina? So for the question name of my calculated question, I'll set this although you can for example, I can set this surface area. I set this as surface area for the question name. Then the question text, this is where you input the question text. So for the question, for instance, my question would be, based on example, what is the surface area of a rectangle with a base of So in creating a question, by the way, in creating a question, a calculated question type, we'll have to set wildcards or variables. So for instance, for this case, we'll set as the base as B and the height as H. So in typing that one, we'll have to use curly brackets for the system to recognize that H is that letters that is enclosed with curly brackets will be generated with random numbers. So with the surface area of rectangle with a base of H, base of H and a height, so and a height. So for the height, no, I forgot. Sorry, So for the base, I'll set the variable or wildcard for base as B and the height as H. So, okay. So again, so you may use this one as, you may also, input this one in your, in the question text as a sample for now. So again, what is the surface area of rectangle with a base of B, which should be, so our variables or wildcards here are B and H. That should be enclosed with curly brackets. Then set the default mark. So for example, the default mark for this one is 1. Then you may leave the general feedback. Then for the answer one formula, so we'll have to supply the formula of, so for this question, it asks the surface area of a rectangle. So since the formula of a rectangle is base times height, so we'll have to write the formula here. Of course, enclosed with curly brackets. So since we are using the variables b and h, so we'll also write here b and h, but it must be enclosed with curly brackets. So you have here, so that's, since again the formula of rectangle is base times height. So base enclosed with curly brackets times height, which should be enclosed with curly brackets as well. So of course, we'll set this, the grade for this is 100%. So by setting this grade as 100%, and since our default mark is 1, so when the student answers these questions correctly, he will get the full point, which is 1. So you can also change this to 90%. So 90, that means that the student in getting this answer or providing the correct answer will get 90%. But for now, let's set this, of course, to 100%, since this is the correct answer. So you may leave this this settings here, the tolerance. So although I have in my manual, I have discussed the different types of the tolerance, but you may leave it like as it is. Although you can also set you may set this as 0 if you want the exact answer from your students. So this is only needed if you want call this one a range or passable answers that contains decimals. So if you want to get the right or correct exact answer, you may set this to 0. Then units, it's not really necessary. So that's all for setting up. Oh, again, you have to set the question name. So although you can also for the question name, you can also instead of creating your own question name, you can set the question text as your question name. Kasi as you might have encounter kanina, so saan na ba yung question bank? The question bank, okay. So the question name will be reflected here in this area dito. So meaning, if you type surface area here sa question name, so if you type surface area for the question name of your created question type, so meaning the surface name will be displayed here instead of the question. So sa mga sample dito, yung question name is kung ano talaga yung question or what's the inside of the question text, para mas, in our case, mas madali siyang i-identify in case you want to access it. So you might copy paste it here, but remove. Okay, just have some edits. Okay, then save changes. So we are not yet done, Save changes. So in calculated question type, although it generates random numbers rather, it's you who will the random numbers rather will be stored in a specific data set. So hindi siya na automatic na i-randomize ni Moodle. So meaning the random numbers are pre-generated muna. So we'll have to set the random numbers first. So after clicking the save, you may leave this as it is, then click next page. So dito, it contains no no shared wildcard in this category. Okay. So dito, it contains lots of numbers, no, but we'll be dealing only with the ano lang dito, range of values from the wildcard B and the wildcard H. So for example, if you want to get a values between 2 to 50, so we'll set the range of values for B as 2, this one here, then the maximum as 50. So meaning it will generate numbers in between those numbers. Then same as with the range of values from the wildcard H, 2, then 50. Okay. So itong mga numbers na to are just sample numbers na na-generate ng Moodle for you. So to for example, you have a 40 students or in your classroom, so we'll have to set this number, add item, new set of wildcard values as 40. So for them, para makakreate si Moodle ng 40 item or 40 random numbers or sets of random numbers with B and H. Although Moodle has only 100 allowable sets of numbers, ang maximum of random numbers na kanyang, or set of random numbers na kanyang i-generate. So for now, since we have, in my case, I have, for example, I have 40 students, so I'll set this as 40. Then click add item. Okay. Dito muna sa sa add, click force add force regeneration of all wildcards, then click add item. Let's see. So the display here is this I set this as 40 para makita yung ano ba yung mga 40 sets of numbers na generate ng Moodle. So I'll set this back to 1 para hindi siya ganoon ka. For example, this one, by setting the display as 1, so yung set 40 lang ang kanyang ipapakita. So you have there 49.5. Then click Save Changes. So again so in my case, I have here, I set I'll get the values between 2 and 50. So I'll set the range of values between 2 and 50. Same as with the height also. Then click the force regeneration of all wildcards. Then choose the number of items that will be added. So in my case, 40 students. So I'll select the 40, then click add item. Now let's try to save changes. All right. So in our question bank, so we now have a calculated question type added in our question bank. So let's try to preview. Let's see if so if magkaiba ba talaga yung generated numbers. Yeah. So for this first preview, I have here the base of 21, tapos you have there 38.2. So hindi ko na siya I'll not provide the answer muna ha. Let's see muna. So 21 and 38.2. Let's try another preview. So this time, the value of the base is changed to 26.1 na, and the height is 4.3. So, and that's how you add a calculated question type. So I have also, I have there in my manual, I have added a link on additional information about the calculated question type, as the calculated question type does not only support simple arithmetic calculations, but also higher math, like siguro as I have checked, you can perform sine functions and trigonometric functions and etc. So it's provided there on their website. So for now, ang ginawa lang natin is just a simple calculation. So, okay, let me go back to my presentation. Saan na ba tayo? Okay, so it's time check. It's already 11:25 now. Let me now move on to, supposedly I'll add the drag and drop question, but we are out of time. So I'll now proceed to the creating a multiple choice question type. Although nasa manual naman yung other guide on creating specific question types in question bank. Now, to create a multiple choice question type from our question bank, we'll have to again click the create a new question button, then look for the multiple choice and select it and click add. So so for the question name, so again, as I've mentioned a while ago, it's better to set your question name the same with your question text for you to easily identify kung ano talaga yung question. So for the question name, so my question would be, for example, for this example would be, what is what does LMS stands for? Or I can say LMS stands for sorry. So I'll just copy and paste it in my question text rather. Then let's proceed to the default mark. So what's the mark in getting that correct answer? Then you have there one or multiple answer. So since we are getting the one answer only, so we'll choose the one answer only. Then you can also, to shuffle the choices, you must enable this checkbox, although this is already, by default, it's already checked. Then you have the number, the choices, so meaning what would be your choices? Would it be small letters or big letters, etc.? Or you can also choose no numbering. So by default, so for this activity, I'll just choose this one as it is, the small ABC. Then let's add, this is now where you add the choices of your question. So for example, I'll add the correct answer here in the choice one. So LMS, so the LMS stands for Learning Management System. So since this is the correct answer, so I'll set the grade as 100%. No, so since this is the correct answer, I can also put a feedback um, uh, if the student choose that choice or select the choice. So for example, when he or she select the learning management system, I can say, I can put in my feedback, you are correct. Then for example, for my second choice, so since this is a multiple choice type question type, no, so you have to input choices or possible answers. So for my choice 2, I have learning Moodle system just for a distractor, for instance. So since this is not the correct answer, I can set this as, I shall set the grade as none. So since this is not the correct answer, I can also put a feedback here. For instance, I can, what would be the feedback? So for my feedback for choosing this answer is, example only, it is learning management system. Okay. Ayan. Tapos sa choice 3, what else? So I can just copy and paste here. So I leave other other settings that it is for other choices. So for this, from this, so what will be displayed in attempt or in the question will be only 3 choices. So you have there the learning management system, then you have the learning model system and lesson model system. But the correct answer would be the learning management system. So don't forget to always set the grade to 100% in getting the correct answer. Although you can also the grade for that answer can be also set to negative in case you employ a right minus wrong answer in your question or in your quiz. So you can also set that to negative. But for now, let's set our correct answer, or let's grade only our correct answer with 100%. So you can also add more blank rows here. This one. Then click save change. So we are done set. So again, let me go back. So set the question name. This is a multiple choice of your multiple choice question. Then the question text. Then you have there add choices. Then set the grade to 100% of the correct answer. Then add other, you can set the feedback. Then add other choices or distractors of your quiz. Then click Save Changes. All right. So our multiple choice question is now on our question bank. No? So the next, okay, let me go back to my presentation. We are almost done, no? Although we are almost done in creating questions in question bank. So now we'll proceed to how to import questions to Moodle. So imagine yourself, as based on my demo a while ago, if you have 100 item, imagine yourself encoding 100 item multiple choice exam. So that you have to go through all those process in creating questions. So you have to do it manually. So from that, it would take you so much time and hassle in just adding the questions, right? So fortunately, the Moodle allows us to import questions through different modes. So kung meron na kayong mga encoded questions, you can import that to Moodle, although you have to you have to follow the format or guidelines on, or you have to make changes on how to format your questions. So what is it? So Moodle has a number of different formats that can be used to import questions into question bank, categories, and as a lesson question pages. These include some proprietary quiz software formats as well as text files in a Moodle format. It saves time in creating questions manually in Moodle. So of course, it can really save time. No, we have we have here the supported formats of the Moodle. So you have there the Aiken, the Blackboard, and etc. But in this tutorial, I will be only showing you how to import quiz using a Aiken format. So the Aiken format is a very simple way of creating multiple choice questions using a clear human readable format in a text file. So you have here an example. So napakasimple lang, no? So you have there the question, then you have here the choices. So it follows a specific format. So as you may notice, walang number dito sa question niya, no? Tapos the choices are formatted in you have here the letters, and can be letters, tapos after the letters you have the dot, then you have the choices, then the answer which should be capitalized, then after the word answer you should have a semicolon, then input or put the correct answer. So the letter of the correct answer. So for this example, you have there the correct answer is D. Then you have here the second question. Aside from the dots, no, you can also use parentheses, no. But always remember to follow this guideline. So after the question, you lay down all the choices in a vertical manner. Then you have to put the correct answer just below the right after the last choice. You have there to you have to input or write the word answer capitalized, then colon, then the correct answer. So you can also use, instead of dots, you can use parentheses. So how to do this? So I'll be opening a file. So although you can create a text file, Aiken format file in a text editor or notepad ba kaya, ganun. But I recommend to use Word instead. Kasi the notepad, di ba, when you have, for example, you have a error in typing, you just have to Control Z, right? But in notepad you can Control Z but only once ka lang mag-Control Z. So meaning yung last action mo ang kanyang you will be yung last action lang ang kaya niyang i-Control Z. But in Word, I don't know what's the number or the maximum number of when can you Control Z or undo your move. So I have here an example, no? So I have followed the format. So walang title, walang what else? Walang introduction or whatever, just plain just plain questions. No, I believe you have used textbooks no na meron ng mga questions or generated questions. You can use this is really useful kasi your books might contains 100 or even thousands of questions, so you can use this way in importing those. So again, follow the formatting. No, you have there the question, then I have the choices, you have the letters, then dot or parentheses, then the choices, no, or the correct answer rather. Then as to get the correct answer for this question, you have to write answer, capitalize, then colon, then D. Make sure to follow this format as it might be the Moodle will not accept or will not let you import your question once you have kung makita ni Moodle na merong error or merong format na hindi mo na follow. Now to export the text file into to export this Word file into a text file, we'll have to save this into a text file. So to do that, just click. So from your file menu, save as. Save as. Okay, for a moment. Okay. Okay. So again, we'll save our document into a text file, or plain text. Select the plain text from the file format options, instead of the Word document. Then save. Then from here, this window will then appear. Now choose other encoding. Now again, after clicking the save file from from the document, click this window will appear, then click other encoding. Then look for the UTF-8. Then click OK. Okay, so your file now is saved into a Aiken format file. Now let's try to import this in our question bank. Now to import from your question bank, I hope you are on. Let's go back to our classroom, no? So I hope you are still now on your question bank. So let's try to import. So you have there from this panel, click the import. Then choose the Aiken format. Actually, this is pretty straightforward. No? So since we are creating a Aiken format file, let's select the Aiken format. Then this one, you set this as it is. So although this here is this setting here, when you set this as to yes, so when the Moodle finds an error in your imported file, so the file, all questions will not be imported. But if you set this to no, so only those questions with questions with no errors will be imported, but yung ibang errors will not be imported, or yung mga questions na mayroong mga errors will not be imported. But I suggest let's set this as to yes para makita talaga natin yung you have ano ba tawag dito? You have their categories. So, but let's set this as yes muna. Then let's choose our file. For a moment. So I hope the participants on the live now are uh, doing well and following, still naka-follow pa sa akin. So we'll try to import the text file that we have created a while ago. So I have here the topic 1 quiz easy text. So I'll select that one. Then click the upload this file. And let's see if walang error yung files na in-upload natin. Okay. So after clicking the import yung sa bottom part, so this will now be the the view once you have successfully imported your you will be redirected to this page once you click the import button, and you will know na successful yung pag-import nyo if walang red something. Supposedly pag may error, this part here will have a instead of green, red, and it will show the error, or it will point to which part of your document has an error. So fortunately, walang error yung file natin since we have followed the format. So let's click continue, and let's see if it will be reflected in our question bank. Okay, there it is. So our questions are now imported to our question bank. So we are now done setting up our questions. So in question bank, so we have added questions now. Although supposedly I will be discussing the categories, but unfortunately we are out of time. So, but the categories is, however, was included in my manual. So for those of you who want to learn more about the categories, so you might check the manual. So let's now go back to our quiz. So we are now down to our last step na. This is let me go back to our classroom, my course page. So from your course page, so select the quiz that you will be adding the questions. So this is the last step na. Then edit quiz. So we will now be adding questions. So you will now be redirected to this page. Then add so since we have questions now from our question bank, let's choose from question bank. So I would like to add the questions that I have created. So you have there this question. So again, as I've mentioned a while ago, it is important to set your question name, the question. So set the question name of your question as kung ano yung question para you can easily identify it. So I'll be adding the questions that we have created. So just click the text box, the text box here, and click add selected questions to the quiz. You then set the maximum grade. So since it contains 4 questions with 1 point each, so let's set this as 4. Then click save. Let's go back to our quiz and see if how does it look like now. Okay, let me switch my role to student. Let's view this. Okay, so this is now how your quiz will look like, or yung view ng students nyo if they will they will view the quiz. So you have there, no, the time limit set. You have set a while ago. So that's it. So let me go back to my slide once more, one last time. So uh, for the tips in making quizzes, so you have to use different variety of quiz type. Tapos, you'll have to always consider the time limit for your students. So it might be there are questions that require much more time, so you have to consider those. Then, if necessary, add many questions to your question bank. So this answers to the quality um, of your quiz. As one of the feature kasi, as I've mentioned a while ago, is you can add random questions from different categories of your question bank para iba-iba yung questions from every students. Then categorize your questions from easy, medium to difficult, again, as to add a quality of your quiz. And this is to categorize also to add the quality of your quiz from these categories using the random feature. Then do not use the quiz just for grading. Use this to let your students practice their skills or knowledge. So use the quiz not just for for assessment, but also let the students practice their lessons through your quiz. So summary. So again, no, we have added activities such as the forum, assignment, and quiz. Then sa quiz, we have added questions such as the calculated and the multiple choice. And also we have on the question bank, although we have not created question categories, but it is on the manual. So just visit lang. We have created the calculated and the multiple choice questions, and also we have imported questions to our question bank. So I think that's it. So thank you for listening.
Yay! Thank you, Sir Vince. That was a very detailed, as according to Dr. Amphi, very detailed demonstration of the use of Moodle for adding your activities, no, assignments, forum, and building a quiz. As much as we want to have more time with you for the question answer, we'll reserve that this afternoon. So we just want you to take a rest, take a deep breath, because you will still have one more topic this afternoon. For our participants, Sir Vince will be back this afternoon at 2 o'clock for the continuation of but this time the topic would be on setting up marking guides and rubrics. Okay, that would be all for Sir Vince's presentation this morning. Thank you again, Sir Vince. See you this afternoon. To all our participants, take your lunch. See you at exactly 2 p.m. for our next topic. So for now, goodbye, everyone. Keep safe and keep healthy. Bye.